Hey everybody, it's HWSteele again, and this is the third video in a series of 12 that I'm doing, talking about Astro trading. And in this particular video, I wanted to get one specific point across, and I'm going to show you an extreme example of it. Extreme in that it covers a long period of time. So let's look. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and I have it going back all the way to 1929, the big top, and then all the way to current up here. This is the most recent price action right here. So let's zoom in a bit and then scroll all the way back to 1929, the 1929 top here. Let's zoom back out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to turn on Astrolog here, and we're going to go back to 1929. Right around this point in time. Doesn't have to be precise because we're going to turn all the planets off except for Pluto and Saturn. Okay. Now this is geocentric. And I wanted to show you something that happens with Pluto and Saturn and then make a point with it. If we advance to the first opposition right here, we see that around February 1931, Saturn is in opposition to Pluto. Okay. Now in 1931, February 1931, in fact, we're right about here, right around this top right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a horizontal price line up there. Now let's zoom out here. We see that from this top right here, the price never made it past there until years and years later, here in the 40s, where it kind of popped past here, then retested down here for a while, for a few years actually, and then started up for years and years. Now I want to show you the chart again, and we're going to go forward in time. This is advancing 1 month at a time here, so even though this is going by quickly, this is actually years of time that are elapsing here. And we get around August of 1947, the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto. And it doesn't look like it ever came back to precise conjunction. So we're looking around mid-1947, and we see that mid-1947 is right around this point in time here, and that from here, I mean, it took about a year and a half. Remember that this isn't a precise cycle that I'm showing you where you're going to get exact tops and bottoms. I'm showing you the tendency of the market from conjunction to opposition of Saturn and Pluto. So we see from right around this point in time that the market started traveling up again significantly. So then if we advance it again to the next opposition, which obviously will take years to happen, we see that it happens. We have April 1965, and it comes back again to August 1965. Then there's the third conjunction. This is all due to retrograde motion here. Third conjunction's in February 1966, and then it moves on from there. But if we look, we see that the market moved up after it started from the 40s here, the very late 40s, from that last conjunction. The market started moving up. And there were times where the market moved sideways and down for half a year, year and a half, something like that. But we see that the market moved up until February of 1966. So let's go ahead and put a price line up there. And we see that after that, with just this one little exception here and then grazing it right here, the market moves sideways essentially for years and years and years. I bet you can guess when it started to move back up again. So let's go forward in time yet again, and we're going to go to the next conjunction of Saturn and Pluto, which happened, there's November 82, then it was really close, just a degree or so off here in July of 83. And if we look, November 82, right around here, July of 83 is this top before it came back and tested it. And sure enough, this is the point in time where the market moves past this top and just starts going up significantly. Obviously, if we scroll here, we see the market for years just went up. And of course, there were retracements here and there. Okay, so now let's once again move forward to the next opposition. And we're going forward in time. And then we see that the opposition happened in, looks like we got August 2001, November 2001, and again in 2002. So mid 2001, which is right around here, and we see essentially that's right here. It's the top. The market moved up for years and years and years and years here, and then made a top. And if we put it right here, it doesn't really matter. We see something changes here. Previously, we had 15 plus years of sideways market, right? And here we can easily see from the year 2000, and then up to here. I mean, this is what, 2011, 2012, the market starts to move up. If we advance this to the next conjunction, in theory, the market should be moving sideways up until the point where right around when this next conjunction happens. And this is January of 2020. So the theory is the market should still, in quotes, be moving sideways, but it clearly hasn't. It's been moving up into significant new high territory. And so it's broken the trend, so to speak. How many times have you read a book from some trading guru or something along those lines, and they show you a method that works, especially astrological method that works, and then all of a sudden it stops working? Well, this is an example of that. Previously, all the way from the 1929 top, moving all the way up here into 2000, this area right here, 2010 or so, the market, every time the opposition of Saturn and Saturn and Pluto happened, the market would start to move up significantly. Every time the conjunction happened, the market would go sideways for a long time until the next opposition happened. So actually, I think I just said that backward. From conjunction to opposition, the market moves up, and from opposition to conjunction, the market would move down with Saturn and Pluto. But now we see that here from 2010 to the 2017 that we are now, that the market has broken that trend. And the question is why? The answer is really actually very easy to understand. And that is because the next planet out, the governing planet, has changed. The influence has changed, so it's all changed. So let me show you what I mean here. Let's go all the way back really quickly to 1929, this time frame, right around this conjunction here. And we're using two planets right here, Pluto and Saturn. And so the fastest planet that we're using, the next planet out, which is in this case is Uranus, is the planet that governs what's going on here. If this was, for instance, if we were using Saturn and Uranus, then it would be Neptune that's governing what's going on there. So let's put Uranus back into the picture, and we see that, going 1 month at a time here, we see that the opposition here, from which point the market will go sideways for years, that Uranus is, right around 12 degrees or so, almost halfway through Aries here. And then we follow and go forward through time. Look like they're doing a little jitterbug dance right there. And we go forward through time through all this opposition, conjunction, opposition, conjunctions. And we see that the last time, it was the 2000 top happened and the market started to go sideways like normal. But then as we go forward, we don't get to the next conjunction before Uranus makes it one full circle around the zodiac. And we'll see that this happens, 12 degrees, I think. 12 degrees happens around mid 2013, which we zoom in here. And we see that this is right here at the top of this point right here. We're going into new territory here, new pricing area that the market had never been in before. So what's happening is, because of the influence of the next planet out, Uranus completing its one cycle, the cycle that we had been using and seeing that worked really, really well in the market. I mean, obviously it could be months off, but for how many years it spanned, it did a very good job. It stopped working, and this is why. So pay attention to that the next time you're using something astrologically and you see that, I was like, man, this is really working really well. Then all of a sudden it seems to stop working. Well, check the next planet out and see what's going on with that. And I believe I alluded to this in the last video, but I wanted to show you an extreme, so to speak, example of this so that it would sink in better, because this is one of the main causes why things don't just keep happening and keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. So the next time you find something that seems to work and stops working, astrologically speaking, I should say, check this method, check to see what the next planet out is doing. So until next time, this is HWSteele.